Good afternoon. I am Andrea Chisholm with the Midday News for this Tuesday, November 26. A special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. There are still questions about what led to the death of a 26-year-old American woman in St. James 2 years ago. The family is still hoping to receive some form of closure once the perpetrator is brought to justice. TVJ's Shane Masters reports.
A mother desperate for answers into what led to her daughter's death 2 years ago. In an exclusive interview with TVJ News, Andrea Gibbon says she's upset with the Jamaican government and the police in how they are handling her case. The body of her daughter, Desiree Gibbon, was found with her throat slashed in bushes near the Long Hill Main Road in St. James on November 25, 2017. Mrs. Gibbon told TVJ News that 2 years later, the police say no suspect has been identified despite interviews and access to CCTV footage.
We have hired an international investigator to come and help us, so I'm hoping that that will help, because I just feel like the day I took Desiree's body home, December of 2017, the Jamaican authorities just really forgot about her and just closed the case.
Mrs. Gibbon says she tried many avenues to get help.
There's not a day that goes by that we don't seek for answers, look for assistance. I've contacted the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, on many occasions. He's yet to even respond back, or his office respond back. And you're doing all these wonderful things that you want to clean up the island and do great and reduce the crime, but start with this. Start with an American citizen who was murdered here.
But why does she spend so much to come to Jamaica on a yearly basis?
I feel like I need to come here. I don't want Jamaica to forget about Desiree. I don't want her to have been murdered with no just cause or without anybody being held responsible. So I will keep coming back on the anniversary of her murder every year until we have answers.
Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Deputy Commissioner of Police Selvin Hay is heading to the Financial Investigations Division FID. His appointment takes effect on December 31. DCP Hay will replace current FID boss Robin Sykes, who will take up a position at the International Monetary Fund. Mr. Sykes is the longest-serving Chief Technical Director at the FID, having started in November 2014. He has been leading the investigation into the corruption allegations involving a number of persons, including former Education Minister Ruel Reid and CMU head Professor Fritz Spinock. The JLP has declared that Councillor for the Brownstown Division, Kim Brown Lawrence, will not be its candidate in St. Ann Northwest in the next general election. Several JLP supporters in the constituency wanted Mrs. Brown Lawrence to be their caretaker. JLP General Secretary Dr. Horace Chang told our News Central us tonight that the Brownstown Division Councillor will not be considered for the post.
She will not be a candidate for the Labour Party at that level. No equivocation about it. She cannot and will not be a candidate for the Labour Party. The party has the right to make that decision, and Ms. Brown is not a suitable candidate for the party at this time.
Mrs. Brown Lawrence is among 5 persons charged in relation to the corruption probe at the Caribbean Maritime University. St. Ann Northwest has been without a caretaker since the resignation of Ruel Reid. The seat is held by the PNP's Dr. Dayton Campbell. Residents in Bryan Lane, Port Antonio, Portland are calling on their elected representatives to address poor drainage in their area. They say the issue has led to wastewater settling in their yards. Details in this report.
Overflowing wastewater has been creating mayhem for Sophia Harrison, a resident of Bryan Lane in Port Antonio. She says for years this has been happening due to an inadequate drainage system at an apartment complex next door. She says it's releasing more waste than the pipes can carry. The result is that the excess floods her backyard.
Water has been illegally channeled in a storm drain right here that runs through my property. I have been back and forth to the local authorities several times. I have sent emails, I have written correspondence, and nothing has happened.
She fears the entire community will be affected if mosquitoes are allowed to breed in the standing water. According to Ms. Harrison, corrections were made to the drain pipes 2 months ago, which have helped to a point.
I came up and I saw some pipes. Okay, I don't know if it's temporary. I tried to find out who is responsible for it, because I think just for courtesy, someone should have said something to me. So truthfully, I am still not clear as to what is happening.
Councillor for the Prospect Division, Wayne Mackenzie, says the municipal corporation will try to have the drain fixed in short order.
We had the drain cleared a few weeks ago, or probably a month or two ago. The current situation is that the property owner has attached some pipes, PVC pipes, to control the water. But the parish council is aware, or the municipal corporation is aware, and I think it is somewhat in the hands of the of public health. So it is a matter that the Portland Municipal Corporation is dealing with, and we're expecting the matter to be resolved in short order.
Meanwhile, over in Breastwork, Port Antonio, this major breakaway along the roadways raising safety concerns among residents. It collapsed after heavy rains in 2017 and has not been fixed since. It's understood that funding is a major issue for that road to be addressed. O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Fame FM's Raymond Peart, also known as DJ Venom and a female student of the University of Technology UTech, died last night in a motor vehicle crash on the Spanish Town bypass in St. Catherine. The UTech student has been identified as 20-year-old Abigail Rowe. Reports are that about 10 p.m., Peart was driving his Honda motorcycle heading towards Old Harbor. On reaching Marchpen Road, he collided with Rowe, who was a pedestrian. They both sustained multiple injuries and were transported to the Spanish Town Hospital, where they were pronounced dead. A police source confirmed that the disc jockey was wearing a helmet. Meanwhile, his colleagues were shocked at his passing.
When I got the news last night, it was pretty disturbing. I mean, when you think about Raymond Venom, he's always smiling. You know, he really, 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 really enjoys his job, very passionate about it, and a lover of life, you could see.
You just never think these things happen to people with whom you interact on a regular basis, with whom your paths cross. And so when I heard last night, I was shocked, still shocked, and still hoping that maybe somewhere along the line we've been misinformed.
The decomposed body of a woman was found yesterday in the vicinity of Central High School on Sevens Road in Clarendon. It was partially nude. The body is of dark complexion, slim build, about 5 feet 3 inches long, with a dreadlock hairstyle. The woman is believed to be in her early 20s. The Clarendon police are appealing to anyone with information to contact the Maypen CIB at 876-986-2529, 119 or the nearest police station. And it's time for a break here on the Midday News, but stay with us. More stories right after these messages. Welcome back, and we're continuing the news. 2 men charged with having sexual intercourse with someone under the age of 16 years yesterday pleaded guilty when they appeared in the St. Elizabeth Circuit Court. Javion Shamar Weller and Patrick Simpson pleaded guilty to separate charges. Both men are to be sentenced on December 18. Mr. Weller was charged after it was reported that he had sex with a 14-year-old in February this year. At the time of his arrest, he admitted to having sex with a minor. Mr. Simpson was charged after the family reported his engagement with a minor to the police. Mr. Simpson said he was unaware of the age of the female at the time of the encounter. 37 sexually related offenses have been listed to be tried in the St. Elizabeth Circuit Court. Darren Powell, the man who represented the People's National Party in the 2016 general election in Northwest St. Elizabeth, has switched political allegiance. This picture, which should be coming on your screen, yes, was taken of him yesterday, and it shows Powell with other JLP members flashing the customary hand sign. When our news center reached out to Mr. Powell, he did not say why he made the switch.
Support the conference in a between argument done. We are nothing to say to nobody.
Mr. Powell, a former West Indies fast bowler, contested the Northwest St. Elizabeth seat but lost to the incumbent J.C. Hutchinson. Mr. Hutchinson himself welcomed Mr. Powell.
It is one where he seems to understand that he might have made a big mistake, and as such he is now deciding that he's going to come and support the Jamaica Labour Party. And as one who is prepared to do that, we take in everybody as long as they are genuine and they are serious about moving in the direction in which we are going. He will be just a member of the party if he applies, because we don't know, he has not applied to be a member of the JLP yet. But if he applies, he will just be a member, but not in any position as hierarchy or anything like that. So he'll be an ordinary member who will go and vote when the time comes. And if needs be, we might give him a duty to be in charge of might be a district or a polling division, and then we see how he operates.
In news overseas, a key test of support for embattled Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu takes place Tuesday when his supporters are planning to hold a rally in Tel Aviv. Details from the CNN.
When Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu defiantly denounced the criminal indictment against him,
we're witnessing an attempted coup against the serving Prime Minister.
it was as if there was an echo in the room.
This was an attempted coup. This was an attempted takedown of a president.
There was no mistaking it.
In this poison process, they never looked for the truth. They looked for me.
This was an illegal witch hunt, and everybody knew it.
This is neither coincidental nor superficial. It's not just President Trump's words that Netanyahu is borrowing, but his tactics.
We can never, ever let this happen to another president again.
Netanyahu is fighting back Trump style, alleging his rivals on the left and the so-called crooked media of inspiring a baseless prosecution against him. Sound familiar?
We fight back. And you know why we fight back? Because I knew how illegal this whole thing was. It was a scam.
Netanyahu, the iconic political survivor, is punching back in an unprecedented way in Israel, questioning the integrity of some prosecutors and police.
I won't let the lie win. I'll continue to lead according to the law.
And in sports, the Jamaica International Invitational Meet has been included in the 2020 World Athletics Continental Tour as a silver level meeting. The meet had to be cancelled last season due to financial constraints, but meet director Donald Quarry is confident that next year's staging will see it back at its usual level.
You see, last year we could have had the meet, but it would have been not at the level we wanted it, getting the people that we needed and so forth. And so we are going to get back to the level that we're at. We're going to make sure that we still perform at a level that we're accustomed to. And I see things looking very good for 2020.
Quarry also explained why the meet was given silver status instead of gold like the race's Grand Prix.
We could not meet a deadline to show that we had a certain amount of money in an account, close to $1 million. Fortunately for racers, they had a couple of people or one per company that was able to do that, because the decision was never on merit as far as which meet is better or whatever.
The 2020 edition of the Jamaica International Invitational will be held on May 2. The brand new World Athletics Continental Tour was invented to replace the IAAF World Challenge Series and will run as a second-tier competition below the Diamond League. The Continental Tour will be divided into 3 levels: gold, silver and bronze, whose status will be determined by the quality of the competition and prize money on offer. And that's the Midday News. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Join us at 7 for the Primetime News Package. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, good afternoon.